Right, we're going on to our next step now. Now, I'm curious. I mean, it's really great to meet you today, Leilah.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know what's your passion? What is it that got you into healing in the first place, that inspired you to help other people?
We live in a world where there's a lot of pain.
I live in a world with a lot of pain.
There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of emotional people who are almost like robots.
There's a lot of emotional people. They're almost like robots.
There's people who walk around very like they're in a 3D world, so they don't really understand their purpose.
They don't really understand their purpose, and they're living in a 3D
world. Yes. So there's lots of people who are almost in a systematic program. They're just living life, so they don't really understand the purpose of life. There's lots of people who feel things deeply and don't talk about things that's internal. So I find I'm really drawn to this, so I can help people find themselves.
To help people find themselves. Yeah.
To help people understand who they are more.
Yeah.
To understand that it's not their fault.
To understand it's not their fault. Yeah. And what's important to you about being able to help people come out of this emotional?
To help people start to find their happiness, to help people to go internal.
To help people to go internal.
Yeah, because people tend to seek externally. People tend to look on the external side of, on the external life. So people are always seeking outside when really it's going internally and getting to the root.
Okay, so people are really seeking externally, see the doctor, see the priest, see the government, but never really look internally and find the root of the problem.
And I find that if they go to certain places and it's not really in holistic alignment, it could do more harm than good.
So if they go to certain places and it's not really in holistic alignment, it can do more harm than good.
Yeah. Because holistic actually means mind, body and soul.
Mind, body and soul.
That's holistic.
Holistic.
So when we use the holistic approach, we're not using the mind, body and soul approach. So then we get belief systems in place, and I feel that could install more fear into people.
It could install more fear.
Absolutely.
By having invalid and outdated beliefs that may be holding them back. Well, I know I have a lot of limiting beliefs and obsolete beliefs.
Yes. And this belief system starts from the child, the inner child.
The inner child.
And this is something that I am real in favor of. It's working with the inner child.
And what's important to you about working with the inner child?
It's integrating that inner child to the adult's chronological age.
Integrating.
Yeah, integrating that inner child, that strap, into that adult's chronological age.
And that makes a lot of sense to the chronological age and getting the timeline together. Absolutely.
Because someone could have experienced a trauma at maybe 5 or maybe at 9, and that's where that adult grows up and gets stuck in that trauma. Because if you tap into the trauma, it takes us right back into that
past,
child.
And when you regress your clients back into childhood, describe the experience. What does it feel like to
regress someone?
Yeah, and what do you notice?
I see a lot of emotions.
A lot of emotions.
So I see a lot of emotions, because remember, emotions is energy in motion.
Energy in motion, I like that.
So I tap into that energy in motion with that person, which is very uncomfortable, because sometimes our subconscious is so programmed to us, to that conscious state being. So I like to go into that, where they feel really uncomfortable, where it's really doesn't feel good, and it brings all the inner child stuff up for them, you know, and to sit with that thing, you know, and to take the person back into that child that is stuck.
That's really good. I mean, I can say now for the record, Leilah took me through an inner child regression earlier, and it's pretty powerful stuff. I would highly recommend it to any of you that may be suffering in life, maybe not getting the outcomes in life that you most want and need to happen. Past life regression is an extremely powerful way to get you the results you most want and need to happen for all the right reasons. And anyway, I'm taking over.
No, that's fine. Maybe some people don't really resonate with the past life. Maybe some do, maybe some don't. Because regression can happen on any state, and I think this is where people become confused, and this is where things happen. Some people may be resonant to past life, sometimes it may be in this current life. Sometimes the trauma can start in an ancestral. So your belief may not really happen with you as a childhood, as a child at the age of 6. But maybe the belief could be carried on from a mother. Maybe a belief could be carried on from your grandfather. Maybe there's a lack of worthiness going on from a great-grandparent, you know, because of the way they were, their belief systems were going through. Maybe there's dysfunctional sexual abuse, mental abuse, maybe physical abuse.
All these kinds of abuses from emotional, physical to sexual.
And that is ancestral. So that could be ancestral.
That can go back generations.
That can go back to generations. And this is what drove me into doing healing. You know, with every healing therapist, they have to go through a form of healing. So we have to look at our patterns and what's being there, so we don't project onto our clients, you know, and bring out things, you know, or have the imposter syndrome with our clients. So it's good to go through that healing, to go through that counseling before we have those tools. But I call them tools, like experience that we have. It all goes into our toolbox. And it helps us to facilitate and to become a cleaner and purer vessel, to purify ourselves, so we can facilitate this wisdom unto others. Yes.
I think that's really fantastic.